Hello, it's Thursday on Your View. Welcome to the show. I'm happy today. Welcome, ladies. I'm happy every day. In fact, yesterday was crazy.
Yesterday. Online, they sent me messages. Andrew, stop disturbing me at 12 o'clock.
You straight up?
Yes,
Oh, God.
It says Murai is more allergic. Morayo, it was my day yesterday.
And
I don't understand what happened. That she told, they said, tell her to maintain it. She should even become a Muslim.
That's so.
People did not notice I was wearing my bottom box lace.
What rubbish is that?
Nobody noticed.
They didn't see you.
They didn't see
Yes,
me.
in fact, my husband that I looked with, everybody called me that, can you fit there, go? Maybe you should start.
Somebody even gave me history that it's Oriental look. That's how I said, oh,
Oh, gosh.
I'm wearing my bottom box.
It was yesterday was fantastic. We thank God for the opportunity to celebrate Eid al-Fitr with our friends and our sisters, and we pray that the joy of the season continue to last in our homes. How are you doing, Obiajulu?
I'm doing amazing. I wasn't able to watch the show yesterday, but I was reading comments on Twitter. I'm like, how is Nima looking today? That everybody, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. You know, we missed you. I missed you.
Thanks.
You can ask her if she prayed for you. That's the most important thing.
I know she
She
did.
prayed for
I know
you.
she did. She was the one that helped me out now when I had an accident. I had to disturb her in that prayer. Almost do something about this. Yeah. So I'm just grateful to God. I'm happy. I rested these 2 days. Yesterday was just with Oga. We were everywhere together.
Can I just ask you a question? When you're with Oga, aside from doing to do, what else you guys do?
We talk.
Just
We
yes.
touch.
Touch.
We pray. We bond with the kids.
Right.
Yeah.
Nice. How you doing, Jerry Mariam? Because if I give her a few more minutes, she'll start getting erotic with us.
you know
Let's just keep it simple.
So my mom called yesterday after the show and said everyone looked beautiful. Whatever Nima did for those 10 days was really good for her. She was glowing. She was just, everybody's beautiful.
Yeah.
But you, Mariam, you greeted your people as if you don't have people in Jos that are celebrating. So she sent me a long list.
Jesus Christ.
So I said, I'm going to say it's you. She said, yes, I should tell them Maman Kamal has sent her. These are the people.
Hey, Jesus Christ.
I will do it half. I can't do everything.
Please do everything.
No.
Okay, do you pass it to me.
Okay. So we're greeting Honorable Maje Idris.
Jesus Christ. Grandma.
We're greeting Baba Umaru Gwanto.
Hey, Father Lord Almighty.
I'm greeting Justice Siraju, Plateau State Judiciary.
Okay.
Hi.
And one more.
Babang Faiz, Hajia MBU
Okay.
Gadu, Hajia Rekia Injalingo,
Those are all Muslims.
Nasara Aisha Fatima, Baba Nogombe and his wife, Dauda in Saudi Arabia.
Oh, wow.
Bila and Mariam in Lokoja and Kamal, please, from Mamon Kamal. She said another list, but I'm not reading that. So I hope you're happy today.
Mom said that list from Jos.
Yeah,
I'm telling
you better greet as if you have people. Please greet them.
That's the reminder. For some of us, it's an habitual thing.
Yeah.
I don't feel to rape.
Your shout-outs
The
are
list can be endless.
Elijah, how you
We'll do it
doing?
this week to next week.
How you doing?
I'm fine. It was really nice yesterday, bonding with my family at my parents' place. Second day of Eid is usually at my parents. First day at my parents-in-law, then second day at my parents. And the house was so noisy, and I was leaving, and I was missing childhood. I was looking at my sisters, all of us with our children. I was really missing. It was really nice.
When the house is full.
I feel for my dad with the noise because it's not someone that likes to read. But I found out he was smiling.
You will enjoy it now.
I mean,
So
this
he has
doesn't
his
it doesn't
grandkids
happen
around.
all
Every
the time. Then it's
Just have grandkids around.
Yeah.
Those are the
It's
things.
fun.
was
My
very
parents
fun.
My
have bonding.
mother-in-law, you know, sometimes when she just laughs so deeply, I mean, she's just laughing. You can see the laugh is from within. When she's talking with the baby, or the baby is talking to her, communicating, she's laughing from in her heart. And I'm just looking at this woman. She's so happy that that her children,
So we see our children.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful thing. Let's go on a break. It's Thursday. We have lots of gist for you today. But first, we'll try to breeze through the front pages of the newspapers. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Starting with The Nation. Assets, CCB to probe Mark, Odua, Uzodinma, others. Picture here, World Environmental Day, community worried over water, air pollution, health hazards. And this community, I think, is in Delta State,
Yes.
Warri North. Fish and all that dying from the waters. Swiss government sues Nigeria over detained vessel and crew. Falana says more suits likely. Senate President block votes unlikely as PDP senators split. 20 inmates rescued as Oyo police raid shrine. But Abiamila's camp defends his integrity. And no cut-off marks yet for 2019 UTME. Let's talk about this health hazard. Yeah, what happened?
So there's this community, please forgive my pronunciation.
Polobubo in
Seleku community in Warri North local government. The people are crying to the federal government and W Health organization, saying that they think it's a plot to exterminate them. What happened was there's an oil company. The engineer took off the head of, they call it head of a burning well. Yes. And when they did that, the fire, the fire was oozing out, like horizontally, like liquid flames, and then there was dark smoke everywhere. People were panicking at first because it just looked like it was raining dark smoke. And this had happened since Monday. And they're saying not only is it affecting, crops and the fishes in their water, it's also affecting the people.
All the fishes came out, they died.
Yes, they were all dead. So they're asking the governor, World Health Organization, their governor as well, please, they should do this, that they're peaceful and, hospitable, accommodating community to these oil companies. Why do they have to suffer like this?
Really unfair.
And let me just, relate it to the story. I think yesterday was World Environmental Day. So the UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres was also talking about how over 7 million people suffer from sicknesses that come as a result of air pollution. And it's causing, not only is it causing things like asthma and things like that, it's reducing the cognitive development of the children that we are giving birth to.
Oil companies must be brought to book. Because
it's not even that. So this is what happens in the capitalist system. Every company is about the profit. So whatever happens to the communities hosting them, it doesn't matter. They're about profit. That's why regulation is extremely important. The DPR, this is your job. That department is supposed to check all these excesses. The NNPC also has a department on safety, health, and environment. They're supposed to be checking these excesses. So if they're not doing their job, this is what will happen. And if we don't love ourselves,
and the
who will love us?
Advising some of these fuels, we should stop using those.
Presidency meets power firms over electricity crisis. Picture here of the celebration for Salah yesterday, Eid al-Fitr in Bauchi. Was, I think, the double festival. We arrested 2,175 suspected kidnappers, others in 2 months, says Inspector General. That's the Alpha Dole. Lafia Dole, I think. No. This one is a new one.
This one is Operation
Ada. That's what I was going to say. Ada. Oshomole versus Oyego. PDP state chairman seek Buhari's intervention. May meet before Monday. Makinde gives Ajimobi's aides 48 hours to return government vehicles. Akeredolu sacks 9 perm-sex affected officers kick. 25,794 killed in violent crisis across Buhari's first term. And let's see, but Jabi Amila not guilty of perjury, has never been convicted, says campaign team.
Okay.
The new Oyo State.
So the governor Rotimi Akeredolu of Ondo State has allegedly ordered 9 permanent secretaries to retire compulsorily. So he was saying that according to the 9 secretaries, some of them answered
unanimously.
Yes, unanimously, saying that he is pushing them away because he wants to bring his own person as the head of service. That they have not, most of them have not served up to 35 years in the state service, and some of them are not up to 60 years of age. But the commissioner for publicity is saying that if you have said that there's this circular to that effect, that if you have served up to 8 years as a PAMSEC, you could be removed, you could be asked to retire.
I really wish somebody took this major headline because it's about power. Presidency meets power firms over electricity. We missed it, but because I remember discos were complaining of there was an imminent plan to get rid of the discos, and then according to this, what I'm seeing here, it says German government to assist with distribution projects. So that's something we need to pay attention to. But let's talk about
Governor Makinde is saying to all the aides and public functionaries that worked with the past government that they should please return the vehicles that have been given to them for government work. They have taken these cards away. And he's saying that he's giving them 48 hours until he sends for these cards to be
people just
picked up
think they're
from.
entitled to it because
I don't understand. Why do you have to be reminded and embarrassed on the front paper, you know? Just do what is right.
Government assets.
No, they're used to it. It's normal.
Just take things
just take
away.
government property because nobody's asking. But this man has come and say, I don't have money.
Yeah.
You know, he needs that money. He can't use new money to buy new vehicles. So the old vehicles can be useful for the current administration. Let's move on to the Nigerian Tribune. Battle for Reps speakership hots up. I am still in PDP, Agbaje tells Bode George. Police arrest Islamic clerics, rescue 20 inmates in Ibadan. That was at a shrine, I believe.
Yeah.
9 out of 10 persons breathe polluted air, says United Nations. 2019 UTME, no cutoff marks yet, says JAM. And 16 killed, 14 injured in another bandit attack, says Zamfara government. Okay, let's take the
20 inmates.
Yeah.
So this shrine in Ibadan have been uncovered by the Ibadan Police Command. They got an intelligence report that that shrine is being used for ritualists and kidnapping people. So at the end of the day, by the time they got there, they were able to rescue 20 inmates, people who have been living in the shrine. Even when they took them to the police, most of the parents came to say that this man is a spiritual head, though, that we submitted our children to this shrine. Yes, they gave their children. And most of the young men and women were looking very sickly. Some of them looked mentally deranged.
But also the police were saying that until further investigation is done, they cannot say that he's a ritualist or that ritualistic activities were happening.
I wanted to take this.
It looked like a shrine, the place, and it wasn't a medical facility. Most of them might be people suffering depression, and
Actually, they
taking
said people like drug use and things like that.
Let's. I want to take the story on Jimmy Agbaje. Former Godofsika candidate of Lagos State was saying that he did not decamp to APC. According to Bode George, he had actually moved on to APC. He said no, and this is just a gimmick. This is how they call it, give a dog a bad name, so that to kill it, so that by 2023, credible people have left the party, and then they'll leave the quote-unquote thieves to corner the party resources. But he's still a PDP person at heart, and he's still in PDP, and he's not moving to APC anytime soon.
So quickly, Jam,
let's move on to Vanguard. I'm sure it's in Vanguard. Vanguard, insecurity, Danjuma, Lekwot, others take Nigeria's case to the UK. APC yet to zone position to South-South, says Caucus. 28-year-old man stabbed to death in Enugu for seizing girlfriend's phone. Insecurity won't stop rice production, says farmers. Buhari Saraki condole with this day MD over his wife's death. 2019 UTME, no cut-off marks yet, says JAM. How decision to prosecute Tinubu at CCT was taken, says ex-AGF Adoke, and why militants put off the declaration of Niger Delta Republic on June 1st. Who has the Danjuma story? I think I read that story. Tiwa Danjuma and a bunch of others went to the UK and were trying to make the UK Parliament understand that our president is not running a democracy, that he actually does have a colonization agenda, and he's trying to instill Sharia in Nigeria, and that UK needs to help take action on this. That's pretty much what I read in that paper. But it's something that is worth looking at, because more leaders are coming out and saying the same thing. It's something
but then it's also something that you should carefully look at for people who have benefited from the peace in the country to start to divide the country along religious lines just to make statements. We have a constitution in the country. We run a democracy. The president does not control the National Assembly. He cannot fulanize without law. The Constitution doesn't back that. So it's not a statement you make just carelessly without evidence. So the evidence of insecurity in the country, yes, there's insecurity. There's a crime going on in the country. There's no facts tying it to any religion or ethnicity. Please, you can't just come outside because you are Tiwa Danjuma. You have an oil well somewhere, come and make statements carelessly.
I don't want us to argue on this because
Maureen, let me just add this. It's not about having oil wells. See, Lekwot, I didn't read the story. I wish I did. Lekwot is a well-known Kaduna person, and he's fought for the rights of southern Kaduna people. So these are not just ordinary people coming out to make statements, but let us really look at it and make sure that we're not being sentimental. But these are important people that have something.
Go ahead.
Before they went to
so Jam is saying that they have not released the cutoff for any candidates. You know, they are supposed to release cutoff marks so that when you're getting into the universities, you know that they are supposed to have a meeting with the stakeholders. So people are speculating that they have released cutoff marks. Candidates should be careful so that they are not duped.
Guilt, yeah.
on that.
Okay, that's all we can take on front page review. We have a lot to do today. First, we commemorate World Counterfeiting Day. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So joining us are members of the Anti-Counterfeiting Collaboration. They are here to create some awareness for today's World Anti-Counterfeiting Day. Joining us on the show is Chairman Anti-Counterfeit Collaboration Desmond Adiola, and also is the NIFROM Nairofam, yes, thank you very much. Nairofam representative, Dr. Ifeanyi Okechukwu. Welcome, gentlemen, to the show.
Okay.
So we're hearing Anti-Counterfeiting Day. What is that all about, anti-counterfeiting?
Well, the World Anti-Counterfeit Day is really about a celebration of all the efforts that the world and the people who are really concerned are making to curb the menace of counterfeiting. So we usually choose a day around this particular month every year, and it's usually set by the Global Anti-Counterfeit Group. That's
So just to bring it back home for those who have no idea what a counterfeit is, what exactly is a counterfeit?
Absolutely. A counterfeit is actually, as simple as possible, you can call it a fake. That is when something is showing itself to be what it is not. Mm-hmm. So it could be medicine. Let's just use an example. Maybe a chloroquine will have certain ingredients. And then you have a situation where that which is still, which somebody else has branded as chloroquine, does not have those ingredients. Even if it has those ingredients, the person does not have the intellectual property right, because that person is not the creator, is not the owner, you know, of that, but it's masquerading as if it is. So, and it can also be on footwear, it can be, so any product that is masquerading as or pretending to be what it is not, as simple as possible. Yes. That's what we call
Because I want to
counterfeit.
say that as an economy that almost thrives, or an economy almost built on counterfeiting. We do designer clothes, bags, shoes, on products that are not originally done by, you know, they are counterfeit. We know. We're told that these are not, you know, the real thing. So we have an economy actually that employs people, pays people. How does that come in? Are you really, is your collaboration checking these things to stop them from happening, or
Is it even
what
possible?
exactly
Is it
do
even
you
possible?
do
Okay,
with them?
let's just,
Nigeria?
let me introduce ACC to you. That's, you know, we are an advocacy body consisting of people who either were manufacturing, were marketing, you know, could be, we're providing services. So we're talking about, you know, a group that consists of organizations like maybe Unilever, like you know, GSK, you know, like Sproxil that offers services, like engineering companies as well, like law firms. Even we also include individuals who are, the only people who are not welcome in that group are people who are counterfeiters themselves. They are the only ones who are not welcome. So we see everybody as stakeholders. So we all come together and we operate through advocacy. So advocacy really is about...
Advocacy will be that you do awareness on how to spot a counterfeit product. Do you do, maybe you have like a website where people can say, you say, this is how to spot the counterfeit, one that was being done by on a more drink recently? Is it that kind of work you do?
Well, much more than that, actually. We engage government because the real issue here is that globally, counterfeiting is a menace.
Right.
It's accounting for almost about 3.3% of world trade. And I say, who's saying this? OECD, that's Organization of Economic Cooperation and Development. I've interpreted it that way.
Right.
Even the World Bank, you know, I've also said, look, it's over 12 trillion as far back as 2013.
Wow.
They've already given the statistics. So it's mind-boggling, and they're saying it's growing 7 times faster than legitimate trade.
Okay, so
It's a big issue.
So the question for me is, now you want to buy a product, and now you have 2 products in front of you. One is cheaper, and the other one is more expensive, and you can afford the cheaper one, even if you know that it's not the original.
Dr. Okechukwu.
Yes. How do you, for some people, they don't even know you can't even differentiate the original from the fake. So how do you know the original, and what do you do when you now find out this is a counterfeit product?
I will approach that from the farmer
that's good.
perspective, which is where I belong. First, the WHO has removed the word counterfeit for medicines. So they said we should be using either falsified or substandard. And they mean two different things. The falsified is a situation where, like he said, the person doesn't have the intellectual right to own the product, and the person does a pass-off to be able to deceive the consumers. Then the substandard is where, let's say, a medicine is meant to have, say, 100 milligram, and and it's maybe like 50 or 70.
Oh.
So for medicines, really, the best approach is for you to get the drug from a registered, premises, so that, by the time you discover it's a substandard or a falsified medicine, you can easily take it up with the authorities.
Okay.
So, but like when you patronize roadside for such things, it becomes very difficult.
Let me go back to what Mariam said earlier, which I think is very important. We are not a manufacturing country right now. We cannot even meet the demand. What we are bringing in about the ports cannot even meet the demand. That's the issue we're having with rice. We're trying to push rice production, but what's coming in is what we're meeting the needs. So these products you're saying are counterfeit, they are coming in, but we don't have ours, which is original. So what does the consumer do in this situation? I don't have a choice. The counterfeit or the fake one is accessible, is cheaper for me to use. So why do I want to listen to you in the first place? Why do I even bothered with your campaign or your collaboration? Because, hey, I'm surviving peacefully well with using the counterfeit and the falsified. It's working for me.
So what are the dangers in using the counterfeit one in case of...
I think, I get what you're saying. But I think we will need to look at it and situate it really. Okay. Because the fact that something is cheap for you does not mean that thing is good for you.
Okay.
And the fact that you, by your own perception, you think that you are buying it cheap, does not mean you are necessarily buying it cheap. Because if it's not only, the consequence is part of it. But first start from that premise that, okay, it's cheaper for me. Okay. So you think a Gucci bag and a counterfeit bag, because you are buying it about 40% cheaper, for instance, you think it's actually cheaper for you, but you use it for maybe about just 2 weeks, 3 weeks, it's gone. So really you are underserved. Wow. And if you are the one who has taken that decision, you've actually underserved yourself. So let's first establish that. Then we look at what those consequences are also. The consequence goes beyond even being rich or being poor, because you got counterfeits of virtually everything. And I will shock you that that we do have counterfeits of even spare parts of aeroplanes. So it is not just about the poor, it's across every strata. So everybody really should take the issue of counterfeiting seriously. And that's why we are advocating.
There's something I need to add. There's a slogan of Association of Community Pharmacists in Nigeria. And they say that the agony of cheap medicine will last far much longer than the immediate joy of that low price that you've paid.
Sir, let me take you on this one. As Association of Pharmacists and all that, you people are supposed to be helping us at least regulate and making sure those practitioners do not practice. There are places in Nigeria established known facts that they sell substandard now because they're not exactly fake. And there's a particular country I would not want to mention on air that is known for producing and distributing this in this country. What do you do to check and maybe shut down or, or what's it called, picket these places so that these people cannot operate in Nigeria, just to protect your citizens? At least if it's not available, we'll stick to the option that is good.
Yeah, that is the like the job of the regulators. But for the industry, what the industry has done is to come up with the mobile authentication system to be able to empower the consumers, whereby you procure a medicine, you'll be able to send SMS to be able to confirm that it's authentic. And really the best protection is for the individual, to be sure of where you're getting
the drugs.
just be sure where you're getting your products from.
Yeah, apart from that, I'd like to add to that because you asked a question in terms of the source. We know that the source of about 75% of counterfeits is actually China. So it is not, they themselves know. So it is not like it's a secret. But it is what is being done. And what is being done, you know, varies. There is the Interpol. We collaborate, for instance, ACC, we collaborate with Interpol. We collaborate with World Customs. And of course, the customs in Nigeria too, because there are regulators and enforcing units in Nigeria like customs, like NAFDAC, like SON, like Consumer Protection Commission. So each and every one of those regulators have a role to play. But we and the broadcast media also have a role to play because sitting down together like this and addressing the public, so making the public to be aware that it's cheap does not mean it is good.
So the collaboration, I want to also hit the nail on the head. What exactly would you like to communicate exactly to the viewers today? As you've come to the show today, which is great, aside from them being able to identify how, understanding that, first of all, it's not good for them, what else would you like to communicate to the viewers today concerning Counterfeiting Day?
Okay, absolutely. I take it that viewers are not just people who are consumers. Everyone is a consumer, you know, so we get that straight. But I will be talking to both the people, like you said, and I'll also be talking to the government.
Right.
So, and I will be urging the people to also talk to their government. And when I say government, I mean government at legislation, because they make laws. The problem we have is that we don't have the enabling laws. The laws we have are not, they are outdated. And because of that, as a consequence, we also have weak enforcement mechanisms. Because you're afraid if you take a counterfeiter, if you catch a counterfeiter, for instance, and you drag him before the courts, first it takes a long time. It's frustrating. At the end of the day, the penalties that are in our codes today, which are laws, you know, since the time of independence, is still existing. And we, as ACC, we are working towards getting that law updated. Because it's to look at that entire national policy framework, set that policy framework in place so that things work together.
Fantastic. So
we got to address that. We got to address the corruption that's within the society that allows these things to come in. Our border is about 923,768 square kilometer all over. So to police those borders needs an upgrading of the customs. We've got to use technology. So there is a lot to do, but it's actually the most important thing is setting that national framework. And it's got to be a public-private partnership. So which means the government and then the people. We know the vice president has been operating on this payback. We need to come together and set that national policy. We need to solve the problem. It's a big problem. It's a conflagration. You know, and everybody is affected one way or the other.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much for coming. And we'll definitely need to, we'll continue to support your work in any way we can. So anytime you need us to talk about this issue of anti-counterfeiting, we'll be happy to help you put the word out there.
Thank you very much.
Let's go on a break. When we come back, it's Thursday. We'll continue our topic. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So a man posted on Joro Olomofein's page on Instagram how his wife made his children stay at home watching cartoon and playing video games instead of going to school. Actually, I think she actually homeschooled the kids. According to him, he was financially broke. His wife convinced him to let her tutor the children at home because he didn't have money to pay for their school fees at the time. However, he later found out that this his wife, who opted for kids staying at home, has 4 million naira in her account. And she made her kids stay home just because she didn't want to use that money, because it was his own responsibility to pay their school fees. Now, what are your thoughts on this? Is this deceptive? Is this a woman just being a woman? Let's hear your views. You can call us on 070-8066-8014. You can also tweet to us at TVC Connect with hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read the tweets. We have with us, joining this gist, is a gospel artist, Sophia Omotosho, popularly known as Sophia. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very
Good
much.
to have you. Lucky Mike is not around. Should have greeted you very well. How are you doing, though?
I'm fine.
Good to have you. Great. So, in this situation, I know that when my mother talked about when she built her house, my dad didn't even know about it. You know, and this goes back to women keeping, hoarding money that their spouses did not know about. Now, my mother, according to her, my father knew she was doing business, but he did not know how lucrative that business was. And she kept that lucrativeness of it away from him. But then she was building a house. So we're living in Surulere in his, in Surulere. So things happened and we were out of a place to stay. And mom said, well, I have a house, so that I'm building. My husband was like, hey, for real. Now, he didn't make an issue out of it. We moved into that house. That's where we are till today. My mother is still today.
Fantastic.
But we played out nice. But I mean, I'm just imagining at that period, there were things that he needed money for. That she act as if, and yet she is building a house. That was then. But bringing it home today, in this situation, this woman has money.
Hey.
The man is broke. The kids are now having to stay at home because Baba is broke. Madam doesn't say,
a word.
4 million.
Hey.
Do you think, is you being a woman, you being, what's the word I'm trying to use?
Smart.
Being a smart woman, or is it you being deceptive? Let me come to you,
I don't have a problem with hiding money from men. And I'm going to go back to this very first point before I finish. But these are children involved. So a mother, your job is to care and protect your children. It doesn't matter. There are women out there who their husbands are not even providing. And when I read that story, the man says he provides, he pays for the feeding and all those stuff. There are men, there are women who are suffering, doing everything themselves, and yet they take care of their children. Now, to hide money, to have money and say, I don't have, it's okay. Most women are found in that space. But the fact that your kids had to stay at home when you had 4 million naira cooling away somewhere, it's wickedness as far as I'm concerned. But when I was thinking about it, I now said that I had to put on my life coaching because I asked myself, if they had brought the issue to me, what would I advise? And I remember that our environment is what nurtures us.
Let's not solve the problem. Okay. Let me hear people's views here on that. Because in seeing the situation, the woman is saying, I can homeschool, I can teach, I can tutor them. Because what are they learning? Is it not maths and English? I can actually teach them whilst you're gathering the money together. So it's not as if she doesn't like the children. It's not as if she was trying to be selfish. She knows she has the ability to teach the kids temporarily. Do you still think that is deceptive?
Well, because of the amount in question, which to me seems that this can more than cater for that particular need, I feel that she should have said something. But I also do not think that there's anything particularly wrong with a woman putting some money outside, knowing that this is for us, for the family to be used. So, you know, if we have that, because it's important to be supportive. And as Obiajulu said, they are your children. I mean, that should be your first priority. But there's nothing wrong with homeschooling. I know a family that are homeschooling their children because right now things are not going well. So homeschooling is not a bad thing. It was really properly homeschooling.
Okay, let me come to you, Sophie. Sophia, do you agree with that?
What comes to mind, first of all, is where is her motherly instinct as a mother? Where has she placed that? Did she put her own needs above that of the children? Because these are the children that will look after her when the time comes. And with this kind of attitude, the kids will get to know about it at some point in life.
But as I said, going back to homeschooling, she's teaching. Abroad, homeschooling is normal. You can just, isn't maths, English, you can actually teach the kids at home.
Yeah, but homeschooling abroad, like where I live in London, it's normal. It's normal.
Right.
But not when you have 4 million naira sitting somewhere.
Cooling off.
Such money, like she said, it's good for a woman to put some money aside for the rainy day. And that is a rainy day that has come along. Why don't you bring the money out? Decide to just keep it and
maybe she feels that the man...
Sophie has landed there. Is the objective for why you keep the money aside. But then again, let me play the devil's advocate. I believe that you don't do for a man what he should do for his family.
Excuse me?
Hold on. Before you rush. So, if he gets... Some lazy-minded men will get comfortable that, yes, I've suffered a setback. Madam has got it. She should just continue to get it. And you have stories. Morel, you agree with me. There are stories that when you hear how the woman just completely took over these duties, you wonder when exactly did it happen. What's this man's story? I kept saying to myself when I read the story that this might not have lasted long enough. Maybe she thought, let me take this stand till, you know, maybe he'll get out of it. Let's see. It's still the riskable moment because I believe that every mother is a mother. I would even wait for 2 weeks before I would release what I have. But I think if the objective that she's setting the money aside is maybe to achieve a dream, and without knowing he will suffer a setback, maybe she's been in the house thinking, I should have a business, I should start something. And this 4 million, when I risk it paying school fees, I might never have a business. But these children can still go to school. And if I do start a business, let's go behind our mind and think, what's the objective?
And we've not heard from, I'll come to you. Yeah, we've not heard from this woman.
Yes.
See, for a woman to let her children stay home, trust me, this is a weighty thing. It's a weighty decision.
Going back
so
to
yeah,
what?
I'll come talk to you. It's a weighty decision. So it's possible. The guy is also spending money on Sister Jennifer somewhere. It's possible. So she pay that money you're giving to Sister Jennifer.
Okay.
A woman can never put her children in that kind of situation.
But this one happened now. A woman can
don't
never.
don't
But
hear
this
the man's
happened.
side.
Now let me. I didn't finish what I wanted to say before Mariah cut me. So I realized that our environment nurtures us.
Right.
So some people grow up in an environment. I grew up in an environment where I got used to my stepmothers hiding money from my father. And for everything they wanted to buy, they inflate the price. So that was my upbringing. And when I got into my husband's house, it started playing out. I would inflate every price and I would hide money. Till he called me and said, it does not work like this. This is an anomaly you're bringing to this marriage. This is not how it works. Right. Where I come from, my mother returns the change to my father. So till today, he's still trying to understand his wife. I'm still trying to, adjust. It's taking a long time. So it's very possible where that woman is coming from. If you cannot pay the bill, don't pay the bill. All of us will be looking at each other. My own, I hide. But the fact that she's a mother, she could have paid that bill and told the man I borrowed this money.
That's an exception, yes. That's an example. But have you seen women who...
Let me come back to the conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
So we're still talking about keeping money aside as a wife. Where do you draw the line? At what point do you say, okay, Oga, I have this amount hidden. I can help you. Or should you just hold that money? Say, this is my own.
Especially if you have done everything to save the...
I just wanted to say that if we look at this story, it said that the woman put it aside and the children stayed at home. He didn't say, I noticed my wife living lavishly while my
she joins for the sofa.
While my children were at home. So I do not see this woman as somebody who was being wicked, but as we said, we haven't heard her side of it, so it will be interesting to know. But where do you draw the line? If I had that kind of money, I would look for different ways to pay for the fees.
Thank you.
I will still not, me personally, I will still not open the whole thing and say, I have 4 million. See,
I spoke to the principal and they agreed to keep them on.
When I was getting married, it's something that I hear all the time. My mom called me, say, she'll tell you, in fact, she'll say that there's this thing that they tie around your waist. No. She says, daily, you can be half change. Just put it. Before you know it, 1,500, put it together. She'll tell you, get a piggy bank. Right. That is your own, put it aside.
Let me take this call from Adegboyega. Adegboyega, are you there? Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yes. Let me just give an instance. There are different sides to a coin anyway.
Yeah.
If you don't know, if you don't know the reasons behind some particular thing, you think we should just decide and conclude the issues. While we were growing, there was a family, they were family friends then. The father works there in Lagos, while the family resides in Ibadan. So whenever the dad is traveling, he comes home at the weekend, then goes back to Lagos for work. So he pays the school fee of the children. He gives the school fee to the wife. Then the wife will use the money to buy a shebi. She wouldn't pay, and she will never care to take proper care of the children. Maybe they go to school or not. And she also lives in Ibadan for Ekiti. So our own station also where she works. Now the father will come back, meeting the children at home. He will now have to go back to that school personally to pay the fee.
That's irresponsible. But we've seen cases where I just want to believe that if you don't build the foundation, nobody will build that on top of it. This is a couple. if this woman did not feel the need to hide to death this money and leave the situation like that, I don't think she would leave it like that. I think she should have done something about it. I have seen men who claim that I sent her abroad, I sent her to school, I'm the one that trained her. And when in fact, his story was so tight, I didn't want to even hear the woman's story. But when I sat down with the woman for a few minutes, I cried for what she had dealt with in that marriage.
I was just about to come to that. Like the caller said, there's two sides to a coin. We don't know what is going on in the family. We don't know what situation the woman is in. We don't know what kind of place the man has put her in the house that's making her not own up that she has 4 million naira. Is there love in that family? Is there oneness in that family? Is there openness in that family? What is wrong? The relationship is broken.
Thanks for calling. Are you there? Hello?
Yes, I am.
Morning. Go ahead, please.
Good morning. I'd like to contribute to this. My point of view is this. What's the purpose of education? If I can train my kids at home for a season, if I think that I have enough knowledge and I can practice for a season, I wouldn't pay the school fees. 4 million, they also touch an amount of money. It's not so plenty. If you have 3 or 4 kids, 4 million naira will not cover your school fees for a home session. So I, as a person, have a large amount of money that I'm comfortable at. Below that point, I begin to feel under pressure. So if my threshold is like 4 million naira, I don't go below that so that I can comport my mind to address life with focus and with the drive. I don't want to think that I'm broke somewhere in my mind. So if as a parent, I know I can sit and teach my kids, I will teach them at home. I know it's for a season. They go to school next year. You're sure I don't love my kids. But I don't want to be in a state where I'm broke and my mind is disturbed because I don't have a reserve. And what the man said is correct. For some men, once you step out to do it, they are comfortable. I'm talking from experience. They will leave it to you. And you pay school fees to get to university and nothing will happen.
Thank you very much,
so
Shola.
I don't think because she doesn't love them.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Shola. Fantastic.
Biko, did they agree on homeschooling before the issue happened?
No,
hold on. When the man was paying the bills, there was no need for homeschooling. And if you read that story, the man said, anytime he comes home, the kids are watching cartoon and playing.
You don't know that they're educational cartoons.
Excuse me.
They're educational cartoons. Let me tell you the channels.
They were not being homeschooled anything.
Sorry.
She just left them in the house. So if we now decide to go for the option of homeschooling, we should have had that conversation before. You don't say because I now fail, I can no longer pay, instead of you to bring out your money. And another thing is, I was having a conversation recently with my husband, and he was saying that why most children suffer is the fact that people are hiding things. So that 4 million naira now, if anything had happened to her and she died, the man didn't know about that money. The bank would take the money. They do business with the money, and then the children will be left to suffer because they don't know where their parent. There's no money anywhere. You don't know
we're talking like this
your
because we don't know
parents
the
have.
of the story. There are lots of women that have been left with nothing.
Yes, I know.
Nothing.
I know.
When the men leave. So this woman is saying is putting something aside for that rainy day. Now it's now who defines what the rainy day is.
Rain has fallen.
It's only a breeze that is defines when the rain has fallen. Is it you? To you it's rain. To her, you can manage. Is that rain? You can still manage.
Are just clouds.
Let's not judge a woman for that decision she made. Let's move on to another story because I think we've capped that already. Now, we have Esther. Esther, are you still there?
Yes, I'm still there.
Go ahead, please.
Good morning.
Morning.
Let me use myself as an example. I have a husband. The husband is not ready to work. He's a lazy man.
Jeez.
I pay all my student school fees. I feed the house. I pay the house bill. And this man is not ready to work. Anytime he has no money, he hides it from me. When I have my own, we share it. As a woman. Let me give you one good example. There was a day I gave him money to pay my daughter's school fees. At the end of the day, he used the money. At the end of they sent a text from me from school that the school fees has not been paid. When I called him, I said, I sent you to pay my daughter's school fees. I don't want this situation, but I have the money, and he told that I've seen everything. So what I did, I sent him. I buy food. I use this money. I gave him a market, he goes to market and buy food with my own money, so that the people around will not see that I'm the one doing everything to me. In that situation, what are we going to do?
Thank you very much, Mr. So those are the kind of situations women go through, that they have to put something aside.
And
in this kind of situation, because I mean, going by my story, I know when my husband, there was time that he wanted to pay rent, and he was, I think it was less, maybe 200 or 250. I was now thinking to myself, but to get to 50,000. Me, I knew I had the money somewhere. I kept quiet. You know, he kept thinking, who do I call over? Should I call this person? Should I call that person? Just to add something. And I kept saying to myself, okay, offer. I say, if I offer, and I'm thinking in my head, if I offer this amount, how would you, we're wondering how much do you really have that is left for you to be, you know? I was calculating, but eventually I gave it to him back, and he paid it back immediately after. The moment that money came in, he paid it back.
That's a good man.
To know how much you have. My husband has never asked me directly, how
much do you have?
But he just throws it out in the air, and I'm looking for this amount of money.
My wife, they have.
Sharp guy. I'm going to help you find the money. But, you know, so a woman, it's a good thing. To always keep money aside, because when your man or your husband or family needs it, you can bring it forward. But in this situation,
the family needed it and she didn't bring it out.
Responsible
now. You say it's rainy day. What if it was just the clouds that is black? The rain never fall. It's her definition.
Yes. And
see,
this
the way I operate,
she got a solution for that problem. Like homeschooling.
They were watching cartoons.
I can give you 4 cartoon shows that are educational.
Let's move on to that story.
And children will be having fun.
Let's move on to that story. A man online was saying that he quote says, "Dear men," was talking to fellow men. Okay. If you struggled so hard and money hasn't come, get married, because some women hold the key to success.
True.
Do you agree?
No.
Yeah. Interestingly, my husband and somebody had this debate very recently. In fact, they argued, both of them just had this serious scattered. You could just left their middle. I went upstairs to my room. I was hearing the noise downstairs because he was saying that, listen, everybody has their own destiny. Yes, woman is a helpmate, but God will bless you, the works of your hand. Yes. Don't make it look as if until a woman comes in that you'll be blessed.
In some
people say,
destiny.
no, you don't have a woman, you cannot be blessed. Is that true?
Dangerous. Dangerous what he wrote, because now what will happen is that this man will go out thinking, I need to marry the woman that will make. That's why when you watch it in Yoruba movie, they like to use your star by star, build your star, do whatever. How many Yoruba movies have you watched? I don't watch a lot, but I hear it all the time. The star is not good. The star drops on one person's star. You have when you are going to get married for the purpose of having a companion that you love and you can work with. If it happens that her star and your star, fantastic. But please don't go looking for stars for one woman.
But may I establish grace? Because I'm a Muslim and this is well encouraged. For some people, life is just tough. They just need a helpmate, a companion, someone to say, you can do it, you can move, you can continue. And you find that balance in a good spouse. You will fly. And my own marriage is an example. We didn't start like this. We didn't start from where we are today. My husband used to say, I just think the future is bright. And we'll just keep pushing each other. It's 10 years this year, and we know we're almost there. Wow. If you think that, until I build that 10 mansion, or until I get a job like my IB yesterday, or I do this, all sorts of things, before you find the girl, you might be missing that grace. Sometimes in your life, you don't know whose grace. Even in this thing, we don't know whose grace we're enjoying. Yeah. So sometimes in your life, you don't know whose grace in a couple's relationship that you're enjoying.
Your story actually makes my point more than what you are trying to say. Because your husband did not look for you, thinking that you would be the reason for his success.
No.
You found
Follow
a loving...
the advice now.
Yes, see. No, he said
you
that for
the
some
advice
people
more than
are waiting to be successful.
You see, the thing is, there's something the Bible says. The Bible says, he that finds a wife
finds a good
thing. And obtains favor from the Lord. You understand that? So, when a man who doesn't have anything gets married, that favor comes to play. And before you know it, things begin to align. And then they begin to hit their target and get to where God has destined them.
But do you know that there are some women you marry, and you lose favor? You lose favor.
Yes. No. If you use God works with the intention. In my religion, God works with the intention. If you use the intention, say, okay, let me look for that banker girl. Maybe highest level, managerial level. You are doing targets.
Exactly.
That's what I'm saying.
No,
exactly.
Look, the story says if things are tough, find
Should
your-
you marry?
No, if
Marry.
things are tough, work harder. See,
Okay.
if you're in love, marry the person you're in love with.
IG, Operation
Don't go and be
Pop
looking
Father.
for that
May I
guy.
say that? May I say that? Two of us are right, whatever divide you're on.
Or three of
So,
us.
or three of us. So if you want to get married, you're not looking at who is going to bring you favor and who's going to bring you blessing. You're looking at a good head to merge with your good head, so that two heads
Better
will
than
make
one.
a very good one. Okay, so that's the essence of marriage, for companionship. Now, some men over the years have felt, I have a very close relation who doesn't do anything. He just, the only thing he says is, women can bring favor. Women can bring favor. Women can bring favor. And that's how he married into a family, and he's using, the girl works 24 hours non-stop, and he's doing nothing because he's just enjoying the favor that the woman is bringing, and he isn't doing
those are
anything.
serious-
So,
No, that doesn't
that's the
work.
flip side of this advice, because men out there will look at it and feel, okay, no problem.
I have
There's
a
no
call
need
from
for
the
me.
UK. Morning, are you there? Hello?
Yes, I'm here.
Good morning, go ahead, please.
Good morning.
Morning.
Live, go ahead.
Yes, I want to contribute to the your first point that you brought out.
Yeah. You're live,
Yes,
go
I
ahead,
want to
please.
contribute to the first point that you brought out.
Okay,
All right.
First topic. Okay, go on.
Yeah, you know, the problem that we have in Nigeria is centered around our upbringing.
Okay.
You know, in those days, when a man gives money to the wife, he gives excess money. That man is not stupid. Giving the money, he knows that the woman will keep some money aside. If something is 10 naira, he might give 15, knowing that that woman will keep that money aside. Now, in today's world, we are trying to copy what we cannot implement. We are trying to copy the Western life. And the Western life is transparency. Nothing is hidden. Because if they are not transparent with their couple, you end up having a problem. You end up having divorce in your marriage. You end up having crisis. So there is no need. If you have 4 million, 5 million, if your husband is hardworking, if your wife is hardworking, the choice is yours. If you want to give it, you give it. If you don't want to give it, you forget about it. There is no need of you hiding the money. Because at the end of the day, they will mistrust.
Thank you very much for your contribution. Now, you see, when we have this kind of conversations, I used to tell myself, I think I need to be collecting some more money for my husband because
really?
I realized that I'm so used. I grew up with my mom doing everything. You know, because my mother was the first wife, and he had yeah, he's a Muslim man. So I'm used to her doing being a homemaker. So I'm not used to going to say, Gao, please do this amount of money for the.
Are you kidding me?
Because I'm just so used to handling the stuff in the house. So having this conversation, I'm missing that.
You're missing.
I'm having this conversation, realizing that you need to actually, for me to be able to have that money.
I'm not here to
What does that mean?
You not go give Abu fish. It's not Abu's money you used to take care of Abu.
Wow.
Now it's Abu's excess money now, so that Abu want to chop Pepe's fish.
Okay, let me take Adisa.
I didn't say that too.
Hello, Adisa, are you there? Go ahead, please. Hello, Adisa.
Hello.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Hello.
We can hear you.
You're live, Adisa. Go ahead, please.
Okay, yes, I am a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
Yes. Hello.
We can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Yes, I'm a first-time caller, and I'm calling to, contribute on the first.
You're live. Go ahead, Adisa, for the third time. Go ahead, please.
Okay, the first topic. Yes, my own contribution. I have a friend, a close friend that has the same issue. She works in a bank, and at the same time, her husband is not working. She has 3 boys, 3 kids, and she fends for the family. She gives the husband pocket money. He has not shown any interest in working, and at the end of the day, he takes his money, and the money the wife gives to him as pocket money, and gives it to another married woman. So in such a situation, what is she supposed to do? And yet she cannot live because of her children. So that is what it is.
Thank you very much,
Things
Hadiza,
are
for
not
that.
the way they should be.
I'll let Tobiajulu answer that question.
Why are you putting me on the spot?
You're the coach.
No, okay, you know, we can't just conclude because we have some bad eggs amongst people. We have some men who are good, we have some men who are bad. So whether you show them the money or not, a good man is a good man, a bad man is a bad man. So if he's taking the money and giving to a woman, hide your money. They are not absolute.
If a man marries, let me come to you. If you know somebody who, a young man is saying, Sophie, you have this I've gone to
this glow.
You know, I've actually had somebody in the past that went to, let me not go to this
divination.
Yeah, you know, go and check. He came to me and said, my family have checked. And they said that your star is good. Your glory. And he was like, and he wanted to marry me like immediately. My mother said, are you... God bless my mother's sister. My mother's sister put her foot down, said, we are not marrying this boy. And I thank God. So in that situation whereby somebody comes to you and said, your star is amazing, and that, you know, I read you agree to that checking the stars and seeing how compatible you are, that you're doing what is going to make him become a blessed man.
I don't believe in checking stars.
Okay.
One. Having said that, I believe in prayers.
Okay.
If in the place of prayer, the Lord said, okay, that's your husband or that's your wife, and together you would get to this place, then so be it. But going to check stars, no, that's
People
divination.
check stars,
Please, how do you people even hear the Lord said this person is my husband? Because I've been trying to ask people.
No, people
that
make
say
a business
the Lord
out of
said,
it, which is why...
How do you hear the Lord when he says, this is your husband?
God speaks to us in different ways.
Okay.
It could be through situation, one. It could be through dreams. It could be through...
Don't mind that she's the deaconess. Tell me, are you there? Thanks for calling.
Yeah, good morning.
Go ahead, please.
Hello, friend.
Go ahead.
Hi.
Welcome to the show, first time caller.
I will talk on the two topics that about.
Okay, go ahead.
First one, we need to get to know if the woman is the true mother of the children. One. And again, is there any transparency between the husband and the wife? Because some men, if they have money, they find it hard to spend. And if the woman gets to know that the husband has money, and for him to spend it in the house, he rather spend it outside. If the woman has, she will find it hard, drop ours too. But again, if the woman is full housewife, she needs to be questioned where that 4 million comes from. The first question I asked, if the woman is thinking about the children, because you can't spend, or you cannot sow on a land that you cannot reap. No one can foretell that. I don't know, and I believe everybody don't know. So doing that is very bad, because I know, because my mom, she sells her clothes. When my dad is down, she sells her clothes, she sells her jewelry in order for us to proceed in life. So if she's a true mother, she will spend, or she will look every nook and cranny to make all the children, either 2 or 3, at least they should go to school. The second one, which is woman is a key to success. Fine, everybody is a success. Same thing goes to man too. But you need to put on the table before you define it. It's not to rush into marriage, because no parent will advise our daughter, or maybe their daughter or their sons, or usually daughter, to bring in a man that is not working, because then we ask, where do you work?
Thank you very much. Let me cut you off right there, because we hear all the time in church. They tell us this thing: you're a helpmate. Your job is to go and help the man, even if the man is not working, if he's jobless, if he has nothing.
Which
your
church?
job, once you enter his life, somehow everything just falls into place.
Which church?
That's what they tell us in church.
No, in our church, that's not what they tell us. The man must have a job.
Listen, story. Yes, we know that he's responsible. But listen now, let's be real here. They'll tell you, he might not have a job today, but tomorrow he has a bright future.
So who will feed you before the bright future opens?
See, that's the thing about marriage. When we say marry for, what is important. You love this person, and he's a companion or she's a companion, and you understand that there will be trials and tribulations that you're ready to face. But imagine if you went into that marriage thinking, this is my key to success and it does not happen the way that you are expected to happen.
I don't think love is overrated. I've said that over time.
Yeah.
You need to, for me, if you're going to get into marriage, so we're going to go on a break now. If you're going to go into a marriage, love is great. If you have it, fantastic. If you don't have it, it will grow. It will grow. A man is responsible. How do you know if he's responsible? Even if he doesn't have a job, there's his responsibility to his family, to his loved ones, to whatever he's doing. You see that responsibility, that and his respect and regard for you.
I always say,
you have those things.
Decent person,
a decent man that has
mind and character,
that has manners. Yes, manners, well-grounded in values,
and should be able to feed his family.
Okay,
because the Bible says that a man that cannot feed his family is worse than an infidel.
Thank you.
He should.
You know why?
That is what the Bible says. I didn't say it's not my statement.
The Bible says that.
So
you're right. What I disagree with people getting married because his ability to feed.
He should have a job, Mariah. I will not allow my daughter to get married to somebody who is not working. Mbano. Okay. He should have a job.
I have said it over. What makes a man is not his ability to provide. Okay. I keep saying that.
Okay.
What makes him a man is because God has ordained him to be that man.
Yeah, she can be
to be the man in the family.
They go value for you. You say
not to me.
I
agree. Let's go to break. We'll be right back. Oh, we have a caller. Please, Abby.
Because we're going to Mariah.
Are you there?
Good morning. I'm here. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
All right. I would like to disagree with Obi Anjulu first of all.
Okay.
For the first discussion, which is about the 4 million. If you're in Lagos, I'm so sure if you have more than, even if it is 2 or like 3 kids, that is not even enough for their school fees.
Depending on the school.
Not just paying the school fees, you have to buy probably the bag, drinks they take to school. Every other thing will come in play. So when you finish the money, what happens?
Another one will come.
So I believe that at least it's good for her to keep the money.
Right.
Like I said, the raining day is subjective. It can look cloudy and not really going to rain. So what about if you spend the money when it is not yet time? And then you eventually now go broke that you might not even be able to eat in the house. So what the woman did to me...
Thank you, Jerry. Thank you. So don't crucify that woman. Right. Let's go to break. When we come back, we'll continue to take a few tweets. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back. Welcome back to Your View.
Thanks for staying with us. So we'll take a few tweets. Obiajulu, start.
He here says, yes, Oluwafemi. I don't understand what kind of a person, man or woman, hides money when his or her kid's future is on the line. Some things are written in stone. Andrew in Streatham says, if a man is jobless, go get a job first before dipping your toe into lovingitis. I also says, I am not stupid. No woman can use the star jive to hook me, as Sophia said. You need revelation from the Lord through prayer.
Exactly.
Psalm 32, verse 8.
Comedian says, money can be a big problem in a marriage, So couples should be careful with how they deal with money issues. Nima, I don't think a man who has been taking care of his responsibility all these while will suddenly just become lazy and live it. Because Emmanuel says, well, congratulations to those women who their husbands pay their children school fees. I don't have that privilege. Meanwhile, people around will say, it's no big deal. Anyone can pay school fees.
PJ Comedian says, this one is comedy. I beg, any woman who keeps money aside that the husband doesn't know for the rainy day is a great woman. But if she refuses to declare the asset when a guy is broke, now wickedness. And when she allows her kids stay home, stay away from school, that's wickedness.
Finding a responsible man is always very difficult. See, when a man, when people just always have this generalization that once you get married, things will get better. Listen, it shouldn't be because, I think I agree with Mariam, it shouldn't be because you've married.
You got married, yeah.
You as a person must be responsible. Of course. Regardless of what you're doing. If you decide to do pure water business, whatever it is you do, you must be responsible. Yes. So let's not stop putting that much pressure because let's get serious because it breaks a lot of homes. Because once you get married to somebody, you don't start blaming your setbacks on your wife. It's because you came into my life. This didn't happen when you came. You know, I know somebody that was saying that when I was dating this person, things got good for me. I was getting contracts. Then, unfortunately, she relocated. Now, when I visited another person, things went bad for me. And I'm wondering, why do we have that mentality? So you are totally abdicating your own responsibility. Somebody else's stuff.
Some people grow like that. Some people grow like that, and it's totally wrong. In fact, it's a level of what we call shirk, a level of disbelief in Islam. So you particularize everything you do and say, or she doesn't have favor. What they're saying is, find a companion, because you really might be struggling through life. It's just that listening ear that you don't find. Someone to love you in your hard times. Exactly. Someone to encourage you to push harder. That's the definition, though, that people should not come and quote me. It's not that you should be looking for spirit wife. In fact, I remember turning down proposals as well. My own, I didn't even tell my parents. Once I just talking, say, can we go and check? There was even one that had sickle cell. That's ADS, and I am AS. I was saying to me, we check if they will check if our future children will not have. I said, who are you?
Things were not very rosy in the beginning, but eventually, as a wife, even if things are not rosy for your husband and things are difficult, you see, this issue of you're the one paying school fees, it's a phase. No man, I don't know any man that who wants to be take a back seat in paying their children's school fees. Every man,
I know several.
No, a man, no, in the right place, Nima.
The right man.
A man wants to take responsibility for his children. But when he's not able to, it's a phase. Now, there's some irresponsible men who don't exist.
They are out to devour
their hair. But most men would want to take that. Let me take your call. Let me take this call and I'll come to you. Hello, Moni, are you there? Constance, are you there from Sokoto?
Yes.
Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning. Go ahead.
I'm calling from Sokoto.
Yes.
First-time caller.
Woo!
Constance.
Yes. Okay. Sorry.
Yes, I'm calling in respect of the woman that had the 4 million naira in her account.
Yes.
Thank you. Yes, I'm calling in respect of the woman that had 4 million in her account.
Yes, we can hear you.
Yes, and there's a question I want to ask all of us this morning. Have we wondered why that money was in our account?
And?
Yes.
Go on. You're listening to your TV. Listen to us, please.
Okay. No, we don't know whether that money was actually her money. Maybe somebody gave her that money for safekeeping.
Okay.
And then the man now felt the money was for her, and then she didn't want to use that money for her children. I know there's no woman who wants to leave her children in such a condition.
It's God that will bless you.
When we are making judgment, let's try and balance both.
Well, it's always safe
the woman
thank you very much, Constance. In places where women are involved like this, we always
looking for an excuse.
But it's true now. Did not say now. But in women area, okay, maybe it's because
that can disclose it. That you see one alert, 4 million. You don't know whether it's somebody's money.
The woman took somebody's money for safekeeping, and she did not tell her husband. Ask yourself the question now. Please, if I'm keeping my calm down. I wanted to say that we all have helpers. And I studied recently and I realized that people who make it out in life don't go alone. You have people who are there to help you.
Exactly.
Now, most of these people, sometimes it could be, they can come in form of your spouse. So you know that idea of you get married and things open up for you. It's possible you married your helper. Sometimes it can come as friends. So it's just for us to identify who God has sent to help you, whether it's your wife or your friend.
It's not someone to give you the money. No, it's not someone to give you the money.
I mean, but also logically, let's take religion out of it. Just logically, if you marry someone that is sort of on the same wavelength as you have the same aspirations, the person can only help you get better. I mean, recently on Facebook, there's this study that showed that people sort of help to be successful by their spouses. They talked about Barack Obama, and they named a few couples.
Yes.
That is good, but these people were already doing something when they met these people. So nobody should do not go out seeking for that star, seeking for that woman who is meant to change your destiny. There's no one like that. You're the changer of your destiny.
That's it. Yeah.
Final words on this.
Yeah. Like she just said, you are the changer of your own destiny. You need to get something doing. and not just sit there and just think a woman will just come and then turn your story around and just change your life.
So let me before we run off. Some men are in a certain level. So you're in this bracket where maybe all your life you've been a maybe assistant teacher, that kind of thing, and you're looking for this banker wife. You're searching desperately because you feel like she's the one that's going to change your destiny.
Deliberate.
That's a deliberate way. I mean, that's what we see now. Is it wrong for you to aspire to marry someone like a Marital,
go
somebody
above
that,
your level,
that is above your level, because in your mind you feel, okay, she can help me to that level. Is that a bad thing?
It's not bad, but at the same time, it has its bad side. Okay. What if you marry the person and they lose their job? What will you do?
Sophie, I'm just enjoying.
What will you do? Because if that is the basis of you going into that relationship, then you've missed it.
And you have said everything already.
So be on the road to getting what you need to do. But you can't get a spouse to help you through life. Yes. That's it.
Let me run, as we run up, what are you working on, Sophie? Tell us about it.
Okay, at the moment, I'm working on an album. Okay. I'm recording in the studio. Yeah. Thank you.
Gospel album.
So, yeah, I'm a gospel artist, and I'm looking to release the album, hopefully, before the year runs out. I will have an album launch in London and probably come to Nigeria and have another launch. Because in 2014, when I released my first album, I had a launch in London and I came to Nigeria, I had another one. So I'm hoping this time it will work same way. So yeah, and I'm also hoping to do some music videos and
Collaborations in the pipeline?
Yes, collaborations, in the pipeline. But I'm not going to say with who now. It's just going to be
thank you very much. We'll look out for your CD. Should have brought some for us at least. Whenever that time comes, send it to us so we can listen.
Of course,
and talk
I sure
to
will.
about it. All right. That's all we can take on the show. Hope you learned one or two things. Have a fabulous day. We'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.